I have a confession to make. I never thought I would say this. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I have a confession to make, and it's something that's been on my mind for a while, and I figured it was just about time that I tell the truth. Okay, here we go. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Colleen. I am an expat. I am a semi-retired nurse from the United States. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. And a couple of years ago, I decided to travel to the Dominican Republic to check things out, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I actually lived here during the pandemic. I was here for about a year straight. Then I went back. And I've been back now consistently. I've been going back and forth since 2018. And I've been here now consistently since last year, July. July. So, my confession. I know you guys want to know what my confession is. My life in the Dominican Republic. I know everybody talks about living in paradise, and you're just living in paradise. But sometimes paradise really isn't all paradise. Okay, let me explain. Alright, I am recently married. Well, not recently, it's almost 3 years now, to a Dominican who I absolutely love, and I have a wonderful relationship, so that's a positive thing. But my confession is my life isn't exactly right now what I would have hoped it to be, or what I would have wanted it to be. Mainly because I'm going through some challenges. The challenges is, I would say, a little bit of depression. And let me explain. The depression, I believe it's a mindset thing. I love my life here in Dominican Republic. I have no regrets about being here. It's not like I can go back and forth anytime I want to. I chose to stay. I did not want to go back. I said I'm going to stay for a whole year and spend the whole year with my husband, because since we got married, I have been back and forth. We were constantly separated. So I decided to spend one whole year, which I am sticking to my end of it. Anyway, the part of it that is depressing to me is it's almost like a loneliness. And I find myself reflecting a lot on my life, and I think maybe it has to do with where I am at this point in my life, my age. It's just that I find myself constantly looking back, going back, where I was, what would I be doing now if I were back in Florida. I don't know if I feel as productive as I normally would. When I was here full-time, I actually ran 3 businesses, and then the pandemic came and things kind of went south. We all know how that went. But now that I'm not really doing anything, and not that I'm not doing anything, I am doing a lot of learning on the internet, courses, investing in myself, let's put it this way. It took me a long time. When I came back, Ricardo had to keep telling me, relax, you don't have to get up to run to work this morning. You don't have to get up at 5 o'clock to run anywhere. You're okay. And that was so hard for me to get used to, not getting up and running somewhere 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7. My body was still in that mode. And after a while, I actually started accepting the fact that, Colleen, you really you're not working. You don't have to work. You're here and you're good. And that had to sink in. I think it has been the conditioning, the conditioning of having been working for so many years of my life. I believe I started working when I was 17 years old. So it's so difficult now. And I think now I can understand what a lot of retirees go through when they retire. It's like they feel like there's nothing to do after a while. The boredom sets in. I'm not really bored because I challenge myself every day, but there are times when I'm extremely lonely. And don't get me wrong, I have friends, not the friends that I used to have, in the States. Not the kind of lifestyle I used to have in the States where I could just get in my car and go visit so many people, or people be dropping by, or it's just here it's different. I don't have those friends. I haven't made those kind of relationships. Number one, and I know number one is because of the language. I am not fluent in Spanish. So yes, I've lived amongst the locals, and I've made a couple of friends who speak, limited English, and we try to communicate, but it never developed to what it could be if I were more fluent in the language. So again, I'm just going to say it out loud. I have a confession to make. I should have become fluent in the language by now, which I've been very lazy. The next thing is the loneliness. Where I live, even though I'm surrounded by people, I'm not very outgoing. I'm not very, I wouldn't say I make friends easily. I'm in a couple of expat chat groups, and I've met some really nice people, some that are transitioning here, some that are checking it out, some that are here. But even though I don't participate that much in the groups, I put it on mute because I don't know what it is. I just don't have the time, even though I do have the time, to engage in, to me, I call it idle chatter. And it's a lot of questions and what do I do and how can I and what can I, and I know all those things, and I'm just tired. I don't want to hear it, so I put it on mute. When I have some time, if I'm laying in bed, I'll just go scrolling, and I might answer a couple questions. So I don't know if I'm sabotaging myself, but that's a major thing. It's just the loneliness. It's almost like an empty feeling, like my life has changed. It has really changed my life. My life I used to be a lot more active. And that's another thing. Number 3 is the driving. Now, I'm usually pretty fearless, but lately, well, not lately, I've heard about the statistics here in DR about the driving, the record, just the driving in general, and I see for myself, is the craziness. And then this morning there was a news article that Dominican Republic is now number 1 in fatalities. It's ranked amongst in the world as one of the number 1 countries for traffic fatalities. And then the fear came into me. I've never been one that lived my life in fear, but because I see it, and I asked Rick, I said, is there a standard licensing process here? And he said, yes, there is, but nobody does it. They just go pay somebody. They go. I said, how did you get your license? He says, well, I already knew how to drive. I just went, I paid the money, and I didn't even have to take the test. And from what I understand is a lot of people don't even have licenses here. They don't take the test. They don't do formal training. It's your mom teaches you, your dad or your cousin or whatever. A lot of them don't know the rules of the road. They don't know how to practice defensive driving. They drive too fast. And then now they're actually trying to do something now about the drunk driving, because when I saw it, I was appalled. Like, people are driving with the bottles in the car, like a beer can, and I was like, oh my God, the cops are going to stop us, and they're like, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, it does not. It's not the same here. So that was a little difficult for me to get. I will never get used to that. Seatbelts. We're driving, and Rick is a police officer, and he doesn't wear his seatbelt. And I'm always like, will you put your seatbelt on? It's like, put your seatbelt on. You have to set the standard. You have to set an example. So he'll put it on, but it's like the rules. Because we're so used to rules in our culture, here there is like rules, but it's never really enforced. And that's why he tells me all the time, rules are never really enforced unless it's something really, really, really serious. So let me just take a deep breath, because it took a lot out of me to actually come on camera and say that I confess these things, because I've actually kept myself indoors I find we go out, we do things, we enjoy our life, but I find that I've become more dependent on him, like for even driving. I drove once since I've been here, since 2018, okay? Once. I have friends who drive. I've met a few people in the group that actually live in the area. One of my friends I met in the group, she actually now lives on the 4th floor, right where I live. I didn't see her until yesterday. We live in the same building. I haven't seen her in about 2 weeks. Well, she was out of the country. Anyway, I just, like, I'm in the house every day. And I rationalize it as I'm using this time to be still. I'm using this time that I've been given. It's a blessing to do what I want to do. And I embrace it. I am truly grateful. I don't have to run anywhere. I don't have to worry about how my bills are getting paid. I don't have to worry about if I want to buy something, I don't have money. I am truly, truly grateful. I am blessed. But I find that it's such an empty feeling sometimes. Like, I spend so much time alone, and I am training my mind to say, well, I'm using this time to invest in myself, which I am, in learning a new skill. I'm really heavily into technology. I'm learning all about AI. I have an online boutique. I am doing a medical billing course. I am doing digital marketing. I'm developing my own digital marketing products. I have a lot going on. And I'm also learning Spanish online with a great app. And this is not sponsored, and I'll put it in the description. I absolutely love this app. But anyway, I'll talk about it in the end of my video. And I'm using my time to learn. So what I find is that I'm just doing so many things at the same time that I find sometimes I get overwhelmed. I just don't want to do anything because I got too much to learn. And at the end of the day, sometimes my brain feels fried. Like I feel like my head is going to explode. It's just crazy what's happening. I also have a problem. I've had a problem now with my back for years. I've had back surgery. I have pinched nerves, and the back is a mess. So I'm grateful that I don't have to drive around all day to see patients, and I'm grateful that I don't have pain at the end of the day when I come home. I'm so grateful for so many things. But then I still deal with the emptiness. And Rick tries his best to make me happy. He'll say, okay, let's plan. What are we doing? I have a great husband. I have a good support system. I cannot complain. But it's me. It's coming from within, so I have to deal with it. So I know they talk about DR is paradise. It's just paradise. I'm never going to say, no, look at I'm sitting on my back patio. This is my backyard, and it's the breeze and the weather. It's so nice, right? But there are moments when I feel like I have one foot here and I have one foot over there in the U.S. And it's crazy. It's a very weird feeling. Like I keep going back to my life over there. What would I be doing now? Where would I be? It's like always reflecting. There's a lot of reflecting, and I almost feel like maybe I need therapy. And then I'm here and I'm dealing with my reality here. And it's very conflicting. It's almost like I had too much to do over there, and over here I don't have enough. And I feel like I need a balance. I need a balance. My balance is that I don't have the ability to just get up during the day and say I'm going to jump in my car and run to the mall, or I'm going to jump in my car and run to the beach, or do whatever I want to do, or go visit a friend, or whatever. Everything I do here has to be planned. Like if I want to buy something, it has to be planned. I have to buy it online, order it from Amazon, or go to Santo Domingo to one of the malls and buy it, or Santiago. If I'm going somewhere, it has to be planned. Okay, we're going tomorrow. We're going to plan to go to here. We're doing this weekend. It has to be planned. Because I don't have the ability to just do things on my own. I don't feel confident to drive. I'm going to say it again. I think that's probably one of my biggest problems is, let me adjust this chair. That might be one of my biggest problems is that I'm not driving. And by the fact that I'm not driving, I feel like I have lost some of my independence. There, I said it. I feel like I have lost some of my independence. And it's a little scary. I've always been a very independent person. I mean, I've always been independent since I was a kid, a teenager. You know, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I have done everything, not everything. As soon as I was able to live on my own, I was living on my own, and that was 16 years old. So now that I'm here, I'm, you know, Rick takes me to the grocery store. We go to the gym together. Everything we do, we do it together. I do have, like I said, one of my friends. I met her. She lives around the corner. She goes back and forth to Texas. She's not even here right now, but she lives literally walking distance. And we go out, you know, like we'll do couples nights, and we'll go out. You know, Puerto Plata is not exactly has the nightlife. Let's put it that way. So we find places to go. Well, she's taking us places. But it's not that I'm looking for the club scene and all that. I've done all of that. You know, back in New York City, I was a Manhattan in the city and all the clubs, and then in Florida, I've done all of that. I like more sophistication now, but she lived around the corner, and I saw her maybe once every 2 weeks. Sometimes she'll call me and she'll say, "Hey girlfriend, you still alive?" So I don't know, but she drives. She'll jump in her car and she'll drive to Punta Cana. So that's where I am, and I'm dealing with it. It's a struggle, and it is a loss of feeling independent. And I don't know if anybody else in that same situation, feeling that loss of independence now that you're living in another country. Do you feel less independent than when you were in your home country? Because I do. Now, I don't know if it's just a country, or maybe it was another country. Maybe if I was in somewhere where I could jump on a train or a bus, a regular bus, that had more infrastructure, you know, I wouldn't feel so tied. Because I've lived in London, I have family in London, and I've gone to London. I've taken two by myself all over. So I think it's just here, because in Puerto Plata there's no public transportation. Well, there is, but you know, it's public, but it's really private. And then again, the language. In London, I spoke English. I could buy a bus ticket, you know. Here, you want to go to Punta Cana, it's either a drive or you're going to buy a bus ticket. So you still have to be able to go to the bus, the Carib, or however you're going to get there and buy your boletas, right? But I'm working on it. I'm seriously working on it. And there's some days where I just feel like I want to like pack up and go home. Although this is home. This is home. This is the reality. This is home. But I just feel like, oh, well, maybe it's time for me to skip back over to Florida, to Miami. And I'm like, no, you're actually married now. You have a husband here, and you have responsibilities here, and everything you own is here. So going to Miami now, you're a visitor. We're going to Atlanta, you're a visitor. So it's a lot coming to terms with it, but I'm dealing with it, and I'm making this video just so that I can be totally transparent, and I don't like to use pharmaceuticals. Sometimes I do need something to calm me down because sometimes I just get so anxious. I get panic attacks. And then of course my back, I deal with the back pain and that too. So that's, different issues. Other than that, I'm in pretty good health. Some days I just want to go get my hair done. I don't know where to go. Let me rephrase that. I do know where to go, but the best places are Santo Domingo. The people I know that does hair that I really want to go to are in Santo Domingo. Am I going to jump in my car from Puerto Plata and drive 5 hours to Puerto Plata to Santo Domingo, or 3.5 or 4? No, I'm not. This is why I say I feel sometimes like so out of my element. But it can be anywhere. It could be anywhere. I could be living in South Africa. It would probably be the same. So this is just I don't know if it's a quick video. It's just me being raw and uncut and letting you guys into the other side of my life here in DR. And for those of you who are coming here, that's just certain things that you have to think of, especially the woman coming alone. It's just something to think about. And I just wanted to make this video so that anybody, that's listening to this, whether you're male or female, it's the same thing. Men have it a little easier. They meet women. I don't know if the relationships always work out, but it's a little different with the men. Women have to be a lot more careful. And, the social life, that's another thing, the social life. I'm used to having a social life. Here, I don't have much of a social life. I spend a lot of time by myself. Like, when Rick is at work, I'm here 8 hours a day by myself. He's off 1 or 2 days during the week. We go, sometimes we go, sometimes we don't go anywhere. He's a gamer. He likes to be on the computer going, talking to his people all over, and that makes him happy. He actually relaxes when he's doing that. And we've had conversations about that, and he says, well, that's my downtime. He's not a very, sociable, outgoing person. He's never been. He likes a gamer. He loves that. He's a computer geek. He loves that. And I never wanted to come into his life and change it, I wanted to blend in, and sometimes it kind of gets on my nerves because I wish he wouldn't be on the computer when I'm, here, and I'm like, okay, well, what can we do? Where can we go? And he's like, I hope you don't want to go anywhere now because I'm about to go play a game with my friend in Germany. So those are just the, what you have to deal with when you're married, and you have to accept other people for who they are and where they were before you met them. And I didn't come into his life to completely take over and change. So Dominican Republic is still great. I am still very happy to be here. I am truly blessed. I think I have the best of both worlds. I can skip over to Miami. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours at most. Or I could go to New York. My parents live in New York. I could go to Canada. I have family in Canada. There's just so many places I can go, but I choose to be here. So I have to deal with what I'm dealing with here. And I've never had a problem with depression. And I know it's depression because I'm a nurse and I'm a certified psych nurse. So I know what's going on with me. And I just have to deal with it. I'm trying to find ways to cope. And I just have to. So anyway, that's what it is. Depression. And I think exercising has really helped. They talk about the dopamine and and I think it does work. It also helps my back. But then again, because of the depression, sometimes I don't want to go. Like I'm supposed to go this evening. I'm like, I don't really feel like going because I got ready for the camera today. I put my makeup on. Now if I go to the gym, I'm going to get all sweaty, and I don't know if I'm going to go today. And that's another thing too, you know, just keeping it real. So another thing too is when you're depressed, it's almost like a vicious cycle, right? When you're depressed, you don't want to do anything. I keep buying stuff that I don't need. Like I have so much makeup and hair products. I could open a little makeup and hair product store, okay? And guess what? Every day I get up, I wash my face, brush my teeth, and I put on no makeup. I do nothing to my hair. I might put a scarf on my head or something, and that's it for the day. And I'm like, no, I need to change this behavior. I need to get up like I used to get up in the States, and I used to get up and I used to get dressed in the morning and put my perfume on, put my scrubs or whatever I was wearing that day, and feel like I'm going to be productive. And that's what I did today. And I made 2 videos, so I think maybe that works. So I'm going to start there. But yeah, I'm not a consumer because I'm done with that consumerism thing. But the obsessive is I've become very obsessed about buying things. Like I just want everything. I want everything. I want a new camera. I want this. I want this hair product that I'm ordering. I saw this shirt and I ordered it. I haven't even worn it. It's still in my closet. I don't know what's going on there, but I was never like that. And that's a new behavior for me that I definitely have to work on. So that's it, folks. I hope there's somebody else that can relate. Please leave the comments down below. I am so looking forward to reading these comments. You know, if anybody can relate to what I'm going through, whether, you know, you don't even have to be an expat. You could just be a woman over 50 like I am. That is going through a different phase in life. It is different, and I'm dealing with it. So I hope somebody will get value, and thank you so much to my new subscribers. We are slowly growing, and I'm so happy. We don't take anything for granted. I have to fight with Rick sometimes to get him to make a video with me, but he, you know, that's another story, but he enjoys it. But, you know, he's a guy. He's not, you know. So anyway, I am so appreciative for you who watch. And if you do get value from my videos, please leave a comment below. Please like and share. I'm not really caring about the monetization thing. I just want to get my, be able to get pushed out in the algorithm so I can reach more people. You know, and that's another thing. I'm learning so much about content creation, and I'm learning so much about how it works, and I've become really good at video editing, although it's very tedious, but it's a learning process. So I'm learning a lot. So I don't take anything for granted. So please like my videos, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I put up a new video. And I really do try to answer, I do answer all my, in my comments. I reply, I read them, and I reply. And if you want to get in touch with me, don't hesitate. Send me a DM on Instagram, or you can leave it in the comments. I put my email in the comments in the description the other day, and I started getting a lot of strange communication from people in Africa. So I hesitate to put my email out there. But you can reach me on my DM on Instagram. I am at, Colleen Garcia Pena, and I put the link in the description on Instagram. I have 2 Instagram channels. I have Facebook. I have TikTok. I have 2 TikTok. I am all over social media. I am not hard to find. So if anybody wants to reach out to me, if you need any help with anything, if you're considering coming here, and again, I have to say, shout out to my nurses. You know, those are my favorite people because I know what they go through. If you need any help, please get in touch with me. I am always willing to help anyone who has an interest in living a different life. And I hope that you got value from this video and you will come back and watch some more. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you watch this until the end. See you in the next video.